You guys are watching Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey here with a mailbag, answering all your questions on the NFL. Super chat to begin from Jack Bishop. Should the Raiders draft producer Jeremy's boy, Daniel Faalele? I think in round 2, I'm in. That's about where I think I'm going to have him graded in the end. And the Alex Leatherwood right tackle experience did not do a good job. They moved him to right guard. He got a bit better there, but it was a tough in-season switch. So, I'm on board. I think if he's there in round 2 for the Raiders, I would take him. That would be a good pick, assuming, of course, they have not already identified and fixed their offensive line woes. From Join the Dak side, why do teams, Bills, continue to play prevent defense when it clearly doesn't work? It boils down to this: teams are cowards. That's what it is. Now, there's a balance. You can't be too aggressive like Todd Bowles in Tampa, but the Bills were acting like they were up by 4 points when they were not. The Chiefs were not going to just dial up a deep Hail Mary. What they should have done, beyond just tackling them for one play and drawing out all that clock and taking the 5 yards there, is they should have played some press and had deep safeties. You can find that balance instead of playing off coverage and letting Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce get wide open. That Bills defense in those final 13 seconds, absolute failure. From T-Train King, what are the Seahawks doing this offseason? What's their retool plan? Great question. Look, step number 1 is figure out their quarterback. Like, they've got to figure out what they're going to do with Russell Wilson. Because if you're going to keep him, great. They've got to extend him and pay him more money and give him the extension and bring down his cap hit beyond what it currently is. That's step number 1. Then it's update the offensive line. It's, address the defense. Use Jamal Adams better. He's a great pass rusher. Why aren't you blitzing him? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. From Cliff, should Rodgers win MVP in the play like bleep versus San Francisco? MVP is a regular season award, so yeah. If you cannot factor in the postseason success. So if you thought he was the MVP before that game, he still has to be even after it. From Gildor the Magnificent. Okay. More likely to get Aaron Rodgers, Steelers or Broncos? I myself lean towards the Broncos, over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, I love Aaron Rodgers, big-time player. I think if you're Denver or Pittsburgh, you go all in to try to acquire him. But I also don't know where Rodgers wants to be, what he wants to do. So I think Denver, but I'm not going to rule out Pittsburgh either. Speaking of Rodgers, where will he play next season? I'm going to make this question the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, I want you guys to take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know where you think Rodgers plays next year. From Jack Bishop, Mitch, Super Chat, thank you. Mitch and I were talking. The Raiders can't re-sign Casey. Go out and trade for Okudah. What will it take? Would it be smart if we got Adams to get OBJ? I think you mean Devontae Adams or OBJ. Adams over OBJ, but he's grabbed his stock, so I'm okay there. I don't think the Lions are going to bail on Jeffrey Okudah after a year in a game where he's had injuries. I think the Lions are going to stick by him. If they do trade him, hot take, maybe you don't want him. Because at that point, you might have a situation where the Lions are out on him because he's bad. And you don't want to take on a bad football player if that ends up being the case. So I would have interest in Okudah. I don't think the Lions, though, are going to end up trading him in the end. From Jaden, top free agents the Falcons could sign. So print out the list of top defensive free agents. Outside of maybe the top tier corners, even then I'm okay with it. All of the edge rushers. Like Harold Landry, for example, would be a dream hire for Atlanta. There's also the connection with Dean Pease there, by the way. Edge rusher, pass rush, Devion Clowney, which had some issues in Tennessee, so maybe not. Harold Landry. Those guys would be great for Atlanta. From the Past Master, another super chat here. If Adams follows Rodgers to Pitt or Denver, which Arsenal do you like more for Rodgers, and who do you think gets the axe to bring Adams in? Good question. I think for Denver, maybe you include Jerry Jeudy in a trade to Green Bay to help make room to pair with Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick and KJ Hamlin. That's an awesome duo. That's the best Arsenal, by the way, for Rodgers. In Pittsburgh, obviously Juju's gone. Would you be willing to move on from Chase Claypool or Deontay Johnson if you're the Steelers? Maybe, maybe not. Money's a bit more tight in Pittsburgh, I think, if you were to bring in Rodgers. So I think Denver is my preferred answer there in the end. Jack Bishop, follow up on a super chat. Thank you. OBJ part is wide receiver 2 because Edwards is struggling and OBJ is a good wide receiver 2 under Kupp. I think OBJ's contract, though, might cost you a little bit more. So I'm okay with it, but you're talking about paying like $40-ish million per year, I think, between Adams and OBJ in the end, if that's the route you're going to go. That's fine. It's just or at least 35 probably. That's a lot of money, though, to commit to 2 receivers as talented, as dynamic a 1-2 punch as it would be. If you haven't already, head over to our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Put down $100 when you use promo code NFL Daily at chatsports.com/bet, and you will get a 125% deposit bonus. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code is NFL Daily. You can bet on the playoffs, the Rams, the betting favorite at home, but only by 3.5 against San Francisco, a line that makes me go, maybe Vegas knows something that I don't. Rams minus 3.5 against the Niners. You can bet on that game and all the playoffs at chatsports.com/bet. Don't forget NFL Daily, the promo code, gets you the 125% deposit bonus. Barrett B49, why is Tony Dews of the Titans not getting any offensive coordinator buzz? A couple reasons. He's not that young of a coach. He's not old, but he's more of the veteran guy. Being the Titans running backs coach when you have Derrick Henry, I don't know how much credit you get there. Like, it's Derrick Henry, right? He's been there for a while, but he's Derrick Henry. In general, by the way, running backs coach don't get OC opportunities. They are not the schemers and game planners and designers. So, having been someone who, even back to his college days, who spent most of his time, has never been a play caller, makes it tough for him to be a top candidate in the end. From David, what are your predictions for the NFC Championship? I'm going with the Rams as my prediction, but I'm not sold on that one. I think the Niners are going to put up a really, really good fight in that game. From Shamar Doster, should my Giants draft Tyler Linderbaum? At 7, I would not complain whatsoever. I think the Giants, Billy Price ain't that guy. I am concerned that Nick Gates will never be the same guy he was before that injury. So if he's there at 7, I think he will be. No complaints. I think that would help solidify the center spot. And I think center is one of the most underrated positions. If you have a great center, I think your entire offensive line plays way, way better. From Alex Jones, could the Titans get wild and do Stafford Goff trade for someone like Russell Wilson? See, I like this idea. I kind of mentioned it earlier. My guess is no, probably not. They wouldn't go about that route. But I would consider it. I think you're onto something here, Alex. Tannehill, I think, is better than Jared Goff, but I don't trust him to win you those games in the postseason. He's a bit more in that Jimmy Garoppolo range for me right now. So if Seattle would be down, I don't know if they would be down, but if you could send Tannehill and a first or 2 firsts and some change for Russell Wilson, I think I would do that and go all in right now on this window to help solidify your Super Bowl chances under Mike Vrabel. Speaking of Russell Wilson, where will he play in 2022? Let me know in the comment section. Maybe it's Seattle, maybe it's somebody else altogether. Drop your predictions for me in the comment section. Where do you think Russell Wilson will play this upcoming season. The Pass Master, top prospects for my Vikings to get a shutdown corner. This is a super chat, by the way. Thank you, producer Jeremy. I don't think Derek Stingley is there. Maybe Ahmad Sauce Gardner's there. I think Andrew Booth also makes sense. I like Roger McCreary and Trenton McDuffie. I'm not sure they're worth a top 12 pick, so I would look at Ahmad Gardner in terms of the realistic targets there for Minnesota at number 12. Taylor Holland, one big name free agent or trade that Denver should go for. That's not a quarterback that is worth breaking the bank. Okay, making me think. I like it. So if you're taking off corner for me, overall, I kind of think the Denver Broncos roster is in pretty damned good shape at the current moment with what they have. Outside of QB, Teron Armstead's a left tackle, so I'm not going to do that one. I'd probably consider looking at linebacker and trying to see like what's available at that front. So if you lose, if you're not going to pay Bradley Chubb long term, maybe at that point I would consider looking at one of those other edges. You're probably in good shape at corner. Of the top free agents, how about Orlando Brown? How about you go steal Orlando Brown from the Chiefs, plug him in at right tackle? Broncos fan Sam loves that idea. So final answer after the rambling, Orlando Brown. Noah Dye, will Pete Carroll be fired or will they trade Russell Wilson? Seems like Pete Carroll's going to stick around, so not that one. I do think there's a path in which Russell Wilson also stays as well. I would lean of the two options. It's not Pete Carroll getting fired, so I guess Russell Wilson. But in the end, it's up to Russ. If he wants to stay, Seattle will make that work. Chat Sports, folks, has the best NFL coverage on YouTube. Free daily videos. So, if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe. We are free here at Chat Sports. Join the Dak side. Did Joe Burrow take Comeback Player of the Year from Dak? Again, that is a regular season only award. So you cannot not supposed to let the postseason influence you. As weird as this sounds, I think Burrow is more deserving of NFL MVP, and Dak will still get Comeback Player of the Year because of the type of injury. Alex Smith last year was not a good quarterback, but he came back from a gruesome injury. Dak's not as bad. The type of injury undoubtedly has an influence there. Both are definitely worthy. I still think Dak ends up winning the award, though. Abdul Walton, maybe Burrow wins Most Improved. Want to play a game. Washington football team Jim hit a home run to Deshaun Watson. What would be a triple, double, single, and foul ball as Kirk Cousins? I think Watson would be your home run. Triple then is probably Aaron Rodgers. Your double is Matt Ryan. Your singles Jimmy G, and your foul balls Kirk Cousins. And then your to be determined is a draft pick, depending on who you end up going with there. So draft maybe should be in there instead, but I'll go triple is Aaron Rodgers, double is Matt Ryan, and your single ends up being Jimmy G. Timothy Crooms, what do the Colts do at quarterback? I think they roll it back with Carson Wentz for one more year. I would explore trade options, but Wentz's contract is problematic, so you might be stuck with him. Plus, no first-round pick. That makes it really, really tough to figure out. From Brock, should the Dolphins trade for Calvin Ridley? I would have interest. I don't know what Ridley's value is going to be. I think there's a scenario in which the Falcons keep him. There's a scenario in which they shove him for a second or a first-round pick. I love Devontae Parker. Previously did not have a good year. I wonder how much longer he's going to be there for. I absolutely loved how good Jalen Waddle was for them. Ridley and Waddle, that's a fun duo for Tua. So if I'm Miami, yes, I have interest. Where will Ridley play, though, in 2022? Let me know in the comments section. It might not be with Atlanta. So where does he end up? Drop a name or drop a team for me in the comments section. L2N Gaming, where does Isaiah Spiller rank among running backs in this year's draft? So I am not done scouting yet. I would not be surprised if he is at least my number 2 back. I liked him more than Breece Hall coming into this year. Thought he had a good season. I think he offers you more pass-catching value. The Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Isaiah Spiller, maybe Kyron Williams, and others, I think those will be some of your first backs off the board. None of them should go in round 1. From Alec, who should Denver hire as head coach, Quinn, Hackett, or O'Connell? I think I go Quinn or Hackett. O'Connell has the most variance, good and bad. The McVay tree always works, though. Don't know how long it could work. Might not be forever. Quinn and Peyton get along well, but if Hackett guaranteed me Aaron Rodgers, I'd probably do that one if I were them. One Nation Underground. Oh, man. Best quarterback wide receiver combo in the draft. So I think it has to be Desmond Ridder and Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati. Kenny Pickett, special receiver, going back to school. Liberty doesn't have any good ones. Nevada, UNC lost all their good ones the year before that. Ole Miss, again, I don't love their options this year. So for me, as a top 6 quarterback and a top 15 receiver in Alec Pierce, I'm going that combo. That's a really good question. Not quite as good as some of the previous years we've had, or next year we'll have with the Ohio State duo, C.J. Stroud and probably Jackson Smith and Jigba next season. If you have more questions that we did not get to, hit me up on Twitter. I'm available at WhatGoingDowney. My DMs are open to answer any and all questions you guys have here for us at Chat Sports.